Hey guys, welcome back. Today we have a class on hip and glute and deep core strength focused on running. So this will be a great class for you to do if you're about to head out for a run. You'll get all the right muscles fired up, get them working so that you're fully supported in your core and your pelvic floor and you stay injury free in your runs. All right, so for today's class, we're going to need a small ball or a small pillow, or a yoga block also works great. And if you can situate your mat so that you are close to the edge of a chair or a couch, that will be great because we'll use this in a little bit. So we're going to come on down to our backs first. We're going to loosen up our hips. If you're working with diastasis, make sure you roll down and come onto your back. All right, no need to jackknife and create more tension in your core. So while you're on your back, let's draw your right knee into your chest, extend your left leg all the way out on the floor. And then let your hips roll back towards your shoulders so you find your low back pressing into the floor. And then press that left thigh all the way down towards the floor. So there's no need to press your foot into the couch. It's just how I'm set up here, that you don't need to have your foot against the couch. Draw the knees in, full breaths into your mid-back, and work on this counteraction of drawing the right knee in while you press the left thigh down. You'll probably feel a little stretch in the front of the left thigh. Take a nice deep breath here, and then let it out. Good. And then draw the left knee into your chest, extend your right leg all the way out. Let your hips roll back towards your shoulders, and then work this counteraction on this side. Left knee into your chest, right thigh down. Good, deep breaths. Think of breathing into your mid-back. Full breath in. Exhale, let it out. One more inhale. And exhale, let it out. Good, then take your left foot down to the floor, take your right ankle over your left knee, draw the left knee into your chest, take a figure four stretch here, press your hips down into the floor. This is the biggest mistake I usually see in this, is that everybody draws their hips in, right, which is actually escaping from the stretch. So press your tailbone down, lower hips down, and then draw your knee into your chest. You'll really feel it a lot deeper in this outer hip. Good, one more breath here. Good. And then drop your left foot down to the floor, take the right foot down, cross the left ankle over, draw the right knee into your chest, flex the foot. Good. Press the hips down into the floor. You'll feel this in the outer left hip. Relax your shoulders, breathe into your mid-back. One more breath here. Good. And then drop your right foot down to the floor, and then drop your left foot. Great. And then grab your block or your ball, and we're going to put it right between your knees. Good. So bring your feet right underneath your knees. So if you have a small ball, your feet will be a little closer than if you have a wide block. Good. So we're going to take a big breath here into your core, and then exhale, engage the pelvic floor. Squeeze the ball with your inner knees. Good. We'll do one more like that. Inhale. Exhale from your pelvic floor. Good, now hold that connection to your deep core. Press your elbows into the floor, shoulder blades down. Take one more inhale, keep bracing the core. Exhale, lift the hips towards the ceiling. Good, so squeeze that ball, stay here. Imagine pulling your heels back towards your hips, right? Keep squeezing the ball so you feel your deep glute muscles turn on. Good, take two more breaths here. Just see what you feel in your hamstrings and your glutes. Try to send your tailbone towards the ceiling. Press your upper arms into the floor. One more big breath. And then we'll go on the breath. Inhale, drop down. And as you exhale, drive through your heels, lift your hips towards the ceiling, squeeze the ball. Inhale, drop down. And exhale, lift. That's 2. We're going to do 15 here. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, 3. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, 4. Go with control. Inhale, down. Exhale, 5. Inhale, down. Exhale, 6. Inhale, down. Exhale, 7. Squeeze the ball, pull the heels back. Inhale, down. Exhale, 8. Hang with me. Inhale, down. Exhale, 9. Inhale, down. Exhale, 10. Almost there. Go slowly when you lower down. Exhale 11. Inhale. Exhale 12. Good. Last 3. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. One more. And exhale, lift. Good. Hold here at the top. Squeeze the knees together. Pull the heels back. Oh yeah. Feel those glutes turning on now. And then drop all the way down to the floor. Good. Take the ball out. Draw your knees into your chest. Rock side to side on your back. Good. And then we'll roll to your side and take the ball between your knees, right, or the block. So we're going to set up so that your knees are in line with your hips. You're at 90 degrees. The bottom arm can pad underneath your head. And the key is definitely to keep your hips and your knees and your torso in a 90-degree angle. Otherwise, you're going to start to feel this in your hip flexors. And we want to feel it deep here in the outer hip. So we're going to take the bottom leg, push it into the floor, especially from your ankle. Right, so you feel the outside of your hip engage. Now press the top knee into the ball and then swing that shin parallel towards the ceiling. Right, so you start to feel it out here. And then drop it back down on an inhale, exhale, and lift. So imagine that you had a band around your ankles that you were trying to pull apart. Inhale, lower down, and exhale, lift. So you should feel this out here. Keep going. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. If you feel it a lot in your hip flexors, you can even take your hands here. Bring your knees a little closer to your chest. Right, press that knee down into the ball. See if you can feel it out here in the outer hip. Good. Keep going on your exhale. Exhale up. Keep your upper body nice and quiet. Exhale, press it up. Good. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, press up. Yeah, inhale, drop down. Press your feet away from each other. Exhale, up. Inhale, lower. One more, lift and hold here. Press the feet away from each other. Think about pressing that top heel towards the ceiling. Really feel that outer hip engage. Ooh, and it's like deep in there. It's like right around where your hip bone connects to your leg bone. Oh yeah. Good. Stay with it, and then drop that top foot down. Good. Just roll forward and back a little bit with the ball. The knee forward and back. Good. And then we'll go to the other side. So feel free to roll over onto your back and go to the other side. I'm going to come all the way up to sit and flip around so I'm not facing you backwards. Okay. So come down to your other side. You can stack your head over your bottom arm. Bring the ball between your knees. Right, make sure your knees are at a 90-degree angle with your chest. Go ahead and feel your hip flexor. Make sure it's nice and soft. And then press your bottom leg into the floor, bottom heel. Right, press your top knee into the floor. Flex that top foot and then lift the shin towards the ceiling. So think of sending the heel towards the ceiling and drop down. Good, inhale. Exhale, press it up. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, press it up. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, press up. Inhale, drop down. Good. Exhale, press up from your heel. Feel it really deep in that hip. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, drop down. Good. 5 more here. Exhale, lift. And again, if you're not feeling this in your outer hip, bring your knees a little closer towards 90 degrees, right? Lift up and lower down. Press that bottom leg into the floor to resist. Drop it down. Good. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, drop it down. And one more. Exhale, lift up. Hold it here. Press that knee into the ball. Right, bottom leg down. Keep rotating in. Press your top knee into the ball. Good. One more breath here. Ooh, yeah, you guys feel that? Oh, man. So good. We don't do this move often enough, right? Ooh, good. And then drop all the way down. Good. Roll forward and back with your top knee along the ball. So that exercise comes from the Postural Restoration Institute. If you like it and you want to learn more about it, I definitely recommend checking out some of their stuff. I also integrated it a lot into my workouts too, so you can just keep watching my videos. But if you want to find out more, you can definitely go on their website and find out the whole set of exercises. Okay, so take the ball out, and then we're going to come onto that same side and stay where you are. The bottom knee, the hip, and the shoulder are all going to be in the same plane. We're going to come into a half plank, half side plank, right? So bottom knee is bent, hips are forward, top leg is extended out. The trick here is to send your pelvis forward, right? So we're not hinging forward like this. We're not kind of hunched forward. That's a lot of work on that outer hip. Press your hips forward, so you should feel that bottom hip working, right? Engage in your core, stack your shoulders. So take your hand on your hip, take your hand back here, really feel that glute. Send the top leg back. We'll do hip lifts from here. So 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. Send that leg back towards the wall behind you. 6. Keep that hip lifted. 7, 8. Core engaged. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hang with it. 14, 15, 16. Send your pelvis forward. 17, 18, 19. One more. 20. Nice. Good. Oh, good, good. Take your top foot in front and shake your hips out a little bit. Let go of it, and then we'll go over to the other side. So again, feel free to just flip over to the other side of your mat. All right, so modified plank on this side. Bottom elbow down, bottom knee down, hip lifts. Yep, send your hips forward. So again, this is a point of issue that I usually find. Everybody sits too far back, right? Really come forward. Thrust your hips forward even more than you think you need to. Lift your hips. You'll feel your deep core muscles turn on. And then that top leg lifts. And then that top leg lifts. We'll send the hip back towards the wall behind you. Send the heel back towards the wall behind you. Keep the core engaged. 20 lifts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shoulders back. 7, 8. Remember those 2 panes of glass. 10, 11, 12. Good. Use your breath. Exhale. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Kick that top leg back. 20. Nice. Good. And rest. Oh, nice, nice. Take the top foot forward. Shake out your hips for a second. Good, good. All right. And then come over into a child's pose just for a moment. Knees together. Bring your forehead down and lay your hands all the way back. And just breathe here into your back. Let go of your hips. Right, you can even use your hands and kind of give you a little release here. Good. And then drop your arms. Take a full big deep breath. And exhale, let it go. Good. All right. And then come into all fours. So we're going to take the ball here, put it right between your knees, hands down to the floor. Good. Take a nice big breath here. Inhale. Exhale, engage your core, right? So we're not rounding our back, keeping nice and straight. Tuck your toes, find your deep core brace. And then from that brace, lift your knees 1/2 inch up off the floor. Squeeze your inner thighs together like crazy, right? Your knees are just 1/2 inch up off the floor. Not like this, 1/2 inch, right? This is hard. Draw your shoulders down your back. If you're doing it right, it's hard, right? It's just 1/2 inch off the floor. Keep breathing, deep breaths. Every time you exhale, think of lifting your pelvic floor. If you're feeling any coning or doming, bring your knees down to the floor and do it here. And by that, I mean pressure out. Keep breathing here. Take 4 more breaths. Squeeze the ball. 1 more breath. Nice. Good. And then sit back on your heels. One of the key components of running well is the transition and the shift between one leg and the other as you're shifting. It's a single leg dynamic exercise. So we're going to practice that before you go out for your run. So find a seat or a chair
I like dining room chairs because of the height. It's a better height than a couch. A couch is a little too low. And you're going to have a seat on the edge of the chair. So come to the very edge of it, not sitting on the back like this. It's not going to be helpful. So sit forward so you're right on the edge of the chair. Sit tall. And then put your feet down on the floor to the point where you can stand up without help. Right? And then bring your feet together. So we'll lift the left foot off the floor first. It's a single leg squat. There are two options for this lifted leg. You can either lift it all the way off the floor if you want to do a full single leg squat, or you can prop the toes on the floor just lightly for a little bit more balance. But try to keep as little weight on these toes as possible. Okay, so we're going to inhale, go back, exhale, come up to stand. Let's focus on keeping the chest upright and move very slowly with our movements. So we'll inhale, sit back, bring your hips to the chair, just lightly touch the chair, and then exhale, press through your front heel. Inhale, go back. Exhale, come up. Good. Inhale, go back. Lightly touch the chair. Use your outer hip to come up. Inhale, drop back. As much weight on the standing leg as possible. Good. If you want to challenge yourself, you can bring that other foot off the floor. Exhale, come up. Right? And try to keep your upper body as quiet as possible. Exhale, come up. Right? So we're not doing this, keep going on your breath. We're not doing this swinging, right? Not using momentum. We're going down slowly with control. Lightly tapping. Whoop, and then using your outer hip to come all the way up. Good. 4 more. Inhale down. Exhale left. Whew. Inhale down. Exhale left. 1 more. Inhale down. And exhale left. Good. Awesome. We'll do the other side. I love doing these single leg because when we do double leg squats, if one side is weaker than the other, it just comes along for the ride. And we never really see which side is better than the other, which side needs more work, which side is more challenged. So you might notice one side is a lot harder than the other. So standing on your left leg, pop the right toes onto the floor. As little weight as possible on this right leg. Right? Make sure your chair is still behind you. And then we'll inhale, go down. Lightly touch. Exhale, come up from your outer hip. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, up. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, up. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, up. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, come up. Remember, stay nice and tall. Inhale, down. Exhale, up. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, up. Focus on that outer hip. Inhale, down. Exhale, push through your standing heel. Inhale, down. Should feel this burning a lot in your outer hip. If you want to play around with your balance, take the other foot off the floor. Exhale, come up. Inhale, down. Exhale, up, slow and controlled. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, up. Good. Inhale, down. Exhale, up. Nice. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale, up. Good. Join me back on the floor and bring your ball or block with you. So roll down onto your back. And then come close enough to the couch so you can put your feet on the edge of the couch. And then take the ball and put it right between your knees. We'll do 1 more set of hip lifts here. This is a little harder than having the feet flat on the floor. So elbows down, take an inhale. Exhale from your pelvic floor, squeeze the ball. Right, you'll feel your deep core muscles turn on. Take another inhale from the braced position. And then exhale, lift your hips towards the ceiling. Pull your heels back towards your hips. And then inhale, drop all the way down. Good. Exhale, lift. Squeeze the ball. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, lift. Squeeze the ball. Lift your hips. Squeeze your glutes. Try to make your hips in line with your knees. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower down. Good. Go slowly on the release. Exhale, come all the way up. Squeeze the glutes. Inhale all the way down.
Good, 5 more here. Exhale, left. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, left. Pull those heels back. Lift your hips. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Make sure you can see your hips in line with your knees, right? If you're here, it's not low, not high enough. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Press through your elbows. Even press the back of your head into the floor. Inhale, drop down. Last 3. Exhale, left. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, left. Inhale, lower down. And 1 more. Exhale, left. And inhale, lower down. Awesome. Good. You can take the ball out from between your knees. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. This is a nice stretch if you just want to stay here. Or you can draw your left knee into your chest and take that figure 4 stretch. So we don't want to overstretch before you go out for a run, but just release the muscles a little bit that we've just been activating. So just enough to let them relax for a second. Take the right foot down, left ankle over, draw the knee into the chest, hang out here for a couple of breaths. And we also don't want to overdo the leg work before we start running because we want to maintain some of the power so you can have a really strong run. Our goal is to activate the muscles so that they're working well, so that when you're running, you stay injury-free. And then drop both feet to the couch, draw your knees into your chest, drop your left foot down to the floor, and then take your right knee out to the side so you get an inner thigh stretch. You can use that right elbow as a kickstand. Take a breath there. Bring the knee back to the center, bring the left knee up to meet the right, drop your right knee, right foot, left knee out to the side. Good. Use your left elbow as a kickstand. Deep breaths here. Keep your hips on the floor. And then left knee into your chest. Draw both knees in. Good. And then roll over to your side. Then we'll come over to a forward bend. So you can come onto your knees, tuck your toes, and then walk back to a forward bend so your hips are lifted. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your tailbone high. Right, so oftentimes we'll straighten the legs, but then the back will round like this, right? It's better to keep the knees bent, keep your back long. You'll feel more stretch in your hamstrings. Good. Hang forward here, shake your head yes, shake your head no. And then imagine decompressing your spine. So every time you exhale, think of the kidneys lengthening, your spine lengthening. Breathe into your back, breathe into your kidneys, exhale, let it go. 1 more inhale. Exhale, let it go. Good, and then hold on to opposite elbows and swing your chest side to side for a couple of breaths. Good, and then drop your fingers down to the floor and walk your hands forward, come down onto your knees. Sit back on your heels, bring your fingertips towards your toes, and then scoop your hips forward on an inhale. Exhale here. Right, press your shins down into the floor. This should feel like a really good quad release. Good, 1 more breath here. And then drop your hips down. Great. Thanks for joining me today. You're ready for a really strong run.